Itaola.
All right, here we go.
Ko Betway ba tshepela hore o tshwantse o betjhe ka tsela e nepahetseng.
Ka nako e nngwe ho tlamehile hore o ikhule hanyane.
Ka nako tse ding
O ska leka go busha tše di lahlegilego.
Nakusasa kuse olunye usuku.
Dlala ngokusemandleni wakho.
Ge o tlhoka thušo re gona.
hopola, bet responsibly.
Yeah, Betway, and Pirates, thank you very much. It was a very weird weekend. So on the Thursday, I took the Royal Kings to win. It was the first bet I'd had. Joburg Royal Kings are playing at home against Paul Royals, and they won. So that started me off nicely. It's a 10 rand bet. They offered me a 17 rand cash out. I went with JSK 1.95 to win. Faf du Plessis. He's 40 years old. You know, he's played 400 T20 games. He's took them to a 7-wicket win over the Paul Royals. It was a crucial game. They needed to win it. They lost on Sunday, I think, again. Against, could have been the Paul Royals again, but no, it was actually the Super Giants. They struggled against them. Scored 87 runs, couldn't get to his 100, limited the Royals to 150 for 9, and they gave themselves an easy target. There was a bit of rain around, but didn't go too much. And there was no David Miller or Joe Root, who is the root of all evil. Sorry, that's really bad. I'll stop that. And then Everton-Leicester, and I don't know why I went with Everton to win. I thought Leicester might come right under Root van Nistelrooy. I always liked him as a player. I mean, he does look a bit like a horse sometimes. If you look at that nose, you know, he does. I mean, you ask him, said, "What are you doing today? Are you going out? You staying in?" Nay. Speaking of horse, that's my voice. So Everton were to win. We're at 1.81, and they absolutely walloped them. Absolutely destroyed them. They were just on form. David Moyes, he didn't play down the importance of that, but it's basically the final league visit to Goodison Park. That's going to be the final game at Goodison Park. They're knocking it down. They moved into a beautiful new stadium right on the shore of the docks in Liverpool.
Oh, wow.
Really stunning. It's not quite as big yet, but it looks like it's a beautiful place to go to. And it's quite strange because Goodison is old. And it's
very old. Its parking lot is also very small.
Yeah, and it's about a mile away from Anfield, which is...
Yes.
And the two of them, obviously, they don't get on. But yeah, I think it's a good thing for the club. They're getting new owners in. That's why Sean Dyche had to leave. So Moyes called this one crucial. So this makes for him, and the way he's talked about this. So Moyes has now won as many league games in 17 days and 4 matches as Sean Dyche did in 5 months and 19 games. So that'll do. And they've also scored 6 goals from open play in the last two home matches.
Yeah.
Which is one fewer than they scored all last season under Dyche. So maybe Everton did the right thing. I thought it was quite brutal at the time to kick him out. But then again, you need to make those choices. It worked for Chelsea. It's working for, obviously, for Moyes and Everton. And hopefully it's working at West Ham as well. So Potter seems to be doing well. I think he's got a game against Chelsea coming up, which is going to be a bit of a hazard because Chelsea obviously slung him the hook after he took that job up. He was getting a fortune for it, and they didn't give him the time. Patience. I saw Jessica Motwang calling for patience from the Chiefs fans. She seems to call for patience a lot from the Chiefs fans. but are South African fans any less patient than any other around the world?
No, it's about instant gratification. What we want it now, fast. New coach, no, you don't have time to settle in. Win now, win fast. I think a perfect example of that would be with Coach Hugo Bros. Yeah. If you look at when he took over, criticism that this poor man was under. He was called all types of names. He was like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Not this player, not that player. Why are you taking the younger players? Why not this one? Why not that one? He came out and apologized about not using Temba Zwane, and now he is just the most loved, figure ever. And everybody has long forgot the crit that they put him under when he started. And so it's about South Africans just being, firstly,
short of memory and
yes.
short of time,
because it's the very people that also I've got recordings on my phone for days, about people just insulting this man that I didn't even listen to the entire recording, right? And now the same person that sent me that awful recording oh my God, coach, you're this, you're that, are you just amazing? And I'm just like, guys, we're so two-faced, you know? So no.
Yeah,
I mean,
so he's going to
fans don't have patience, not here in SA.
planning to retire totally after the next World Cup. So he says the dream is to get Bafana there. I mean, he's been to a World Cup himself. I think he played in Mexico, 86, lost in the semi-final against Maradona's Argentina. Great player. He wasn't a great player. He was a good player for Utrecht. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I did do a bit of research this weekend. So, and he was a central defender, which I could never be because I'm too short. Speaking of being too short, Arsenal against
So
Man City.
hold on, please go back.
Where?
So you also didn't get that bet right?
Which one?
When
Everton, right?
you
Everton
did?
I got.
You got that one.
So-
It was the Man City one.
Yeah,
you lost.
so the Pirates game, basically, so the Man City one then threw me a bit. But before that, the Pirates one was winning me money. And I was like, should I cash out? I said, no, it's going to be a
That
draw.
was the $17.
Yeah, no, it was more than that. It was up to 170 by that stage. And I thought, I'm not going to draw. It's going to be a draw. There's 90 minutes gone. Let's see the softest penalty in the world.
You don't
And
really want to make money, do you?
No, I don't, because you get a bit, you go, right, I can make it a little bit more. And you can't.
It's time you just won something.
Yeah,
At
well,
least to take me out to lunch.
Well, Liverpool are going to win the league. I'll take you out to lunch. Which Nando's would you like to go to? Arsenal, Man City. So I went for the draw. The draw was paying quite high rates, 3.55. Both teams to score 1.67. None pays 2.17. But this was a fractures match. I mean, obviously there were scores to settle as we played the, be humble quote from, I mean, it just backfired on him. And I don't know if you saw, but the young kid, Skills Kid, whenever he scored, he actually sat down, he did an imitation of that meditation pose that Haaland did in the video. And he actually sat down and did it. Then Gabriel ran past him, shouted in his face when I think Odegaard's first goal went in. But started there, and they were just niggling him all the time. They were pulling his shorts. It was brilliant to watch. And I was thinking, I'm going to talk about this in the Premier Football Show a bit later, but does he get distracted? I mean, is a player of that caliber, can he get distracted and put off his game?
You could possibly. I mean, definitely. Why not? Unless it is that you've got your mental flex, really on point. But I mean, is that not why players do it? Is that not why you nibble at another player? It is to get to them.
Yeah, I mean, it was the kid's, he's an 18-year-old kid. It was his first senior goal, but what a way
He's not
to
a kid, he's a young man.
Oh, is he? Sorry, he's a kid. I'm 57. Everyone's a kid to me.
Oldie.
But yeah, this is the reaction of some of the people who watched the game.
Hey, Kev, how's it? Jeez, what a night, huh? To be an Arsenal supporter. What a night. Finally, we got something exciting going. They played like absolute demons today. I mean, against a slightly depleted Man City side. I know it didn't. Although they were pretty good in the first half. I mean, certainly 1-1. You thought, shit, is this it? Are we losing this one? Is this another Arsenal performance? But they absolutely took them apart. So great to see Arsenal playing Arsenal football again, like flowing, competitive. Man of the match for me was Gabriel, though, in a defensive role. Stuck to Haaland like a tick on his butt, and then ultimately took him out like a bad tooth on a rainy Sunday afternoon. I mean, sure, he scored a goal, and he was, but great game, Gabriel. And great game from everyone else. I thought Trossard was amazing. He's flashes of a sort of Freddie Ljungberg going on there. But ultimately, Arsenal really needed this. Make or break. And they actually stood up and they delivered, which was so cool to see. I'm so excited about that. Of course, got a long way to go against Liverpool. But if we can keep playing like this, we can just do what we do. And, hope for the best. It's a couple of games still, one-on-one games going on. To be a Gooners fan right now. What a pleasure, huh? The highs and the lows. Anyway, going to bed on a Sunday night having a big smile on my face. Cheers, bud.
And it was Rob's birthday. So those are the dulcet tones of Rob Hobbs, who's an
I was
actor.
about to say, whose nice
Rob Hobbs,
voice is
yeah.
that?
You probably would have heard him a lot, actually, in the hyperamas and the hypermarkets.
Oh.
He does a lot of those things. So he does a lot of those voices. So a friend of ours does that.
And this is $4.99.99.
Yes, that's
got it.
And yesterday was his birthday. So he got to celebrate
Happy belated.
big time. Talk Sport, they do these live reads in the football, and when Miles Kelly's goal went in, the second goal, you would have thought the guy was going to burst a blood vessel in his head. He screamed.
Oh, my goodness me! Oh, stay humble, hey!
Oh, wow, he's doing the celebration. He's doing the celebration. He did the Harlem celebration. He did the Harlem celebration. He wants all the smoke.
Do it, show us. Do it. Show people not to do it.
Oh, it's brilliant. You have to watch the celebration. And it's just a classic, one of those sitting down and just looking at him. And Pep Guardiola was asked, did you see the celebration? He said, no, what did he do? And he said, no, well, he did the Harlem celebration. He said, oh, that's good. And yeah, no, that's just good. That's all I want to say. That's it. That's it. And Arteta wasn't happy though. He doesn't like his players doing it. Basically says just be adults. Don't provoke. I'm trying to think of the best goal celebrations I've watched. And used to be do some simple ones. Alan Shearer just put his hands in the air. Who's the best South African goal celebrations? Who would you?
Oh gosh, there's so many different ones. I mean, Tebogo Mokoena sits up on the side of the, where the adverts are on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo Salah does the Egyptian king.
There's we've got interesting South African ones, man. I'm sure that they take time off of training to train for the celebration.
The Bafana won in the 2010 World Cup after they scored the goal against Mexico. That was obviously rehearsed.
Always.
Rehearsed. Rehearsed. It was what?
It was a trending dance in SA.
Oh, okay. So what did it mean?
What was that? Macarena?
It was just a trending dance. Professor and them, they used to do that dance a lot. They even did it for the Springboks.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. Maybe it's Bernard Parker. Because, he puts up his elbow and then he does this and he says his nickname is Hont. And then they asked him, so why does he celebrate by, dusting his elbow? And he says it was actually someone from his neighborhood that said, look, when you score, do this. And he did, and it stuck.
God, I like a good celebration. I do remember one team who did the imitation of a dog relieving itself against the corner post, but didn't go down so that well. Obviously, the cleaning the butch is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Because that just like seems, it's cool,
That is cool. Actually, that's another story we should dig into, like celebrations after great goals.
Well, he went after that Arsenal game. Erling Haaland didn't go anywhere. He usually goes up and he starts chirping the Arsenal players or somebody else. Didn't even look at them, didn't even see them, walked straight to the away fans. He was pointing to his badge and say, look, we have won the European Cup. What have you won? That sort of stuff. And I mean, I know that, what's his name, Jamie Vardy did that to Arsenal fans as well when he was pointing to his saying, we've got one trophy. It does come back to bite you though. Those little chirps. So Haaland, I think, we'll talk about him a bit later. And the final one, and it was a win for me, Ipswich against Southampton. I went with both teams to score, which paid 1.67. They won 2-1, which was great for Ipswich. I mean, and Spurs. Not for Ipswich, or rather for Southampton. Just having a good day today. Will they be able to survive? They're still at the bottom of the table, still struggling. They are on... let's see, what are they on? They are on Southampton. They are 9 points from the bottom. 9 points at the bottom. They are 7 points behind Ipswich. Leicester are now in the relegation.
Where are they?
Leicester now 18th.
Okay.
And Wolves, who won at the weekend, and they've just signed a long-term contract with Kuna. They're going to be they're chuffed as anything. So I mean, I think Wolves are building well. There's a lot of teams doing the right things.
Top three again?
Top three. I mean. You obviously know who's number one. It's Liverpool, 56 points. And they still got that extra game in hand. And they are 4 points ahead of Arsenal. Forest are still in third after that thrashing of Bournemouth of the weekend, 7-0. It was Brentford they thrashed. City are still in fourth despite going down 4-0. Newcastle lost to Fulham. And I think Chelsea are paying the hammers tonight. United down at 13th. Spurs are 14th. United, that 2-0 loss just looked bereft. But I don't want to bring it up with all the United fans because
don't. There's no need.
No, it's like
keep it moving.
It's like clubbing a baby seal.
I don't process well visually.
Okay, right. Coming after the break, I'm going to have a look into how refereeing decisions actually affect bets and results of games. So that could change, like the refereeing decision on Saturday at the Derby. It wasn't a penalty.
Mto says it's like an egg. Never
so
too
far.
hard, too soft.
It looked pretty scrambled to me. Had a quick Google, as you do. It's called the Shaba dance, the Bafana celebration from 2010.
Oh, the Shabba dance, not the Macarena.
No, it looks a bit like the Macarena. But in a varsity cup rugby game, a player from the University of the Free State, who were the Shimlers, Zane Bester, he did the same celebration after he scored a try. So, he's pretty famous. Referees.
How do you celebrate?
Celebrate.
Yeah, any wins?
Just put my finger in the air. I'm very casual. I do a Mo Salah. Try and do the Egyptian king. I'm pretty boring celebration. I don't score many goals.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, so they're doing punch fronts at gymnastics, and so she landed. Man, it's a forward tumble.
Okay.
On the trampoline, land on your feet, punch front, and she said she couldn't do it, and anyway, eventually she did it, and she celebrated by shouting, "What's my name?"
That's great. That's not like United fans going, "Oh, Will Smith," and he said, "You get my team's name out of your mouth," and then getting a fat slap afterwards. So the thing about sports betting and how referees' decisions impact sporting betting outcomes and also decisions. So it doesn't only include the final score, obviously. So there's all the in-game elements such as point spread, individual player performances, and penalties. And these game-changing calls, like fouls, ejections, sending offs, they can actually change the way a game is played. For example, and this is from a big betting website, a late game penalty can result in a goal, and that's just not right. So Arsenal defender recent Miles Lewis Skelly was sent off. He had a 3-match ban for one of the dodgiest red card I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
The Gunners appealed, and they actually won it. Lewis Skelly, he was shown a straight red card after fouling Matt Doherty. And Michael Oliver, he's made a few mistakes in his time. He wasn't particularly happy. Arteta didn't want to speak about it afterwards. And he said, "Listen, you saw it. I didn't say it. If I say it, I'm going to get into trouble."
Obvious that we don't need any comments today. And hopefully the right thing will happen after today.
Did you get an explanation from?
No.
I take it from what you're saying, Cal, you're going to appeal the red card.
Well, hopefully we don't need to. And if we have to, it happened, and it's a really good precedent what happened with Bruno this season as well. So hopefully, we were in a position that we shouldn't be in. At least let's be in a position that we should be in for the next few weeks and allow that player to continue to do his job.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
We've just seen the news from the FA that Miles Lewis Skelly's ban has been removed. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, obviously very happy that that decision has been made, and Miles is going to be able to play for us again in the next few games.
It's been quite a eventful few days and off the pitch, and lots of talk and lots of emotion, including quite a lot of unfriendly stuff towards Michael Oliver, the referee. What's your view on that and how that's all panned out?
The same. Every time I talked about that topic, regardless whether it's a player, it's a coach, it's a referee, it doesn't matter. We have to really work harder to try to eradicate that part of the game that brings nothing but bad stuff, bad taste, and it makes people's life more difficult. So let's get it out. Let's kick it out.
Is that your message to any Arsenal fans who are upset or angry themselves?
Yeah, for everybody in football. I think it should not be permitted. We don't want it, we don't need it, and it certainly damage our sport. So let's get it out.
Yeah, let's get it out indeed. But referees take it an amazing amount of abuse. Did referees in South Africa, do they get abused on social media as much as perhaps English and Europe? Really?
I do not envy the job of a coach or a referee.
Yeah.
The referee actually from the derby had to be ushered off the pitch by SAPS.
Oh.
Yes.
Good Lord.
And I'm sure that they had to wait until that stadium is empty for it to be safe enough for them to leave. Zeka Marks, I remember interviewing him. I think it was at Lone Stadium or Dobsonville, one of the two. Yeah. Anyway, it was raining missiles, and they were hurling abuse at him from the stands. So depending on just how much of a fan you are and how much you take the decisions to heart, fans retaliate.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not fair, it's not right,
ugly, and
but it happens.
And it's cowardly. It's cowardly, and it's too easy to do it. it not just brings the game into disrepute, it just gives you a nasty taste. I mean, I haven't been the greatest, but I can complain about fans. I mean, we got a penalty this weekend from Liverpool, got a penalty from a referee who messed up the VAR against Spurs last year, a result that could have turned the game.
You see, the other Kevin last week was also saying that it is time to clamp down on this hooliganism in some way or form. However you're going to curb it, it needs to be curbed, whether it is that you make an example out of the fans or something, we just need to tighten it somewhere, somehow. Because it's not okay and it's getting out of hand. So
I'm just trying to find some of the stuff that they said about him, and the abuse is just,
But what makes it okay? When did we become so ugly?
It's about people talk about his wife and his kids. We had that with Havertz, who missed the goal last for Arsenal, and his wife took an impossible amount of abuse. They said they were going to kill her unborn
slaughter her unborn baby.
What kind of a piece of...
I won't forget that one. But I also think with social media, the way it is at the moment, and the way we digest it, eat it, consume it, we're on it, it also adds to the ugliness of it.
Perhaps we need SAPs to actually start investigating the way the police in England are doing this thing with Mark Oliver. They've got a social media crew, obviously, and they go on, find somebody who guys did it, and if it equates to hate speech, which is against law in South Africa, if it equates to hatred, if it equates to verbal abuse, verbal assault, basically, I think that's actually probably better word.
Yeah.
Because you don't recover from that. You sit, now you're going, right, can I go out to the shops?
Is it safe for me too? Yeah. And when you do go out to the shops, what anxiety are you exiting and existing in the world based on the threats that someone else has made? I do think that adding social media to it makes it a whole lot more. I mean, think about back in the day when there was no Facebook or Insta or TikTok or any of these things where you left, or even cell phones, mind you, where you had to wait for a call on the landline. I think the world was more reliable, was kinder as well, because if you got lost and you didn't have GPS, you could ask for directions. I think we lived in a better time then than we do now, and add that in, it's chaotic.
It's almost like there's too much space to be nasty, which is what we're going to do tomorrow. Mampara of what a Mampara, but yeah, it is like that. I just think about this more and more because, I mean, I remember fans used to say, and used to hear them coming over the speakers and on your games, and this to say the referee is a word that rhymes with banker, and I would sing that constantly, or they would sing who's the bastard in the black, and they would sing that, and that was like, that's a proper abuse. Holland, our fans, I mean, they're quite proudly taking videos of themselves calling Holland the C word, and that's not cool.
I think also racism in sport is also something that how do you get rid of that, when it's years and years later and players are still experiencing it?
Yeah. So the Pirates' decision, Nabi still hasn't learned a word of English.
Shame he tried. In the Derby press conference, shame he tried. He tried a little bit.
He's French, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very French. So he actually was interviewed by Mazola from SABC after the game, and he spoke quite openly about it.
Coach Nabi, Coach Kaze, obviously a disappointing result. Have you had an opportunity to see that penalty incident at all?
C'est bien sûr une déception. Est-ce que vous avez eu l'opportunité de regarder le penalty?
Honnêtement, moi du moment où j'ai pas bien le regardé, j'ai juste regardé que leur joueur il a été pour frapper un corner, c'est que même le joueur concerné il ne croyait pas qu'il y avait vraiment penalty puisqu'il a été voir faire le corner, que l'arbitre qui l'a vu.
Honestly, I haven't reviewed the images, but what I saw, the players, he played, he went, he shot, the goalkeeper saved it. He went to play the corner kick, and he was surprised that the referee gave him a penalty while he thought that he's going to get a corner.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I'm quite surprised you didn't hear the curse words coming out of Parkhurst whenever that happened, because I thought, there goes my bet. But did the local Referees Association, they obviously do review those sort of things and have a look.
I mean, it can be also overturned, or if it is that a referee is found by favouring another club. I mean, the referee on Saturday was 28 years old, still has an entire, a reffing career in front of him. But I mean, it can come back, and then you just don't ref anymore because you're making biased decisions at the end of the day.
Do teams still write reports on referees, or is that? I know they do in England.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
We used to do it even at an amateur level when I was playing at Rhodes. You would try not to be too nasty because the guys they remember, and they've got mates who'll come back to. It'll haunt you.
I also want to talk about the quality of the Kappa jersey, because I don't know if you saw. I think it was Mode who was pulled. Was it Mode? Modi was pulled, and the jersey just ripped. I was like, surely it should be a little stronger because the tug wasn't that hard. But the corner of his jersey tore.
So I've seen
like a ribbon.
I've seen a report that suggests Kappa might be coming back as one of the sponsors, or because Le Coq Sportif finished, and the SAFA and his CEO executives, some of them aren't happy with the quality of Le Coq Sportif. Then they're talking about bringing Adidas back, Nike, possibly Puma. These are all guys they've been with before.
And who have soccer boots in their range.
Oh, of course. Le Coq Sportif don't do that. I mean, they just do. I wonder how they're going to work this out because they've gone bankrupt. They sponsored the jerseys at the Tour de France. So, I mean, do you hear that's as much French as I can speak, by the way. Tour de France,
Bonjour.
Tour de France, Tour de France. But yeah, I mean, the jerseys are an important part. I mean, we have.
It is. So I was actually quite shocked that this tug, ripped the jersey, but that was just me. Because I was like,
No. And it's a new that only came in on 2022, isn't it?
Correct. No, isn't it later than that, or has it been 2020? 23?
They signed a 5-year deal in 2022. It started from the 2023-24 season. I've just seen that now. And yeah, okay, kids. I'd love to know who designs the kit. I mean, who designs the black kit for Pirates? Just you guys just said, hey, we're going to go black this year.
No, it's actually a lengthy process.
Is it?
So now they're already starting for the next season because every season's jerseys change. So they're actually in talks now already. It's not just here's a new jersey.
But they're about $1,500 each these days. It's ridiculous.
It's insane. Yeah. It is insane to have like a proper, not like a replica, like the jersey. It's going to set you back.
That's about $2,000.
But I mean, if I'm going to tag it or throw it in the washing machine and it's going to look like Modi's, then I'm not going to buy one.
Not a chance. Okay, that's another thing. So we're going to talk about, we had enough talking about referees, so we're going to need to talk about celebrations during the week and obviously jerseys, maybe fashion in jerseys.
I'm so sorry, but Pirates take the cake there. Okay. When it comes to looking in their Adidas kit, man, they take the cake. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Did you say thank you?
Hands down. They even have a jersey.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. So I think, fashion, the recipe to success in terms of marketing and how to get bums on seats and celebrations, all coming up on The Breakfast Show.
Cool. We'll speak to you later in the week.
Cheerio.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.